Well, hey there. Welcome back to the Pawpaw Chronicles and more with Jim. Well, a little bit ago, I did a little bit of a video digging up this tree, and this is the part 2 of what it was that we were doing. Try and get this tree planted and protected. And as I said down there when I was digging it up, it's looking like I was going to have to make the hole a little bit wider. And that's what I'm doing. Fell into a root right there. Rid of that. There we go. I think we're deep enough for it. I'm going to go ahead and get this tree planted in here and we'll talk a little bit, but this is the goal that I was working on when I was down there along the driveway, which we still are along the driveway, but we're up on the bank, away from the area where we drive. It was too close to the drive and too close to the tree that was over there. I got one right there is an NC1, and on the other side of it, I got a Wabash transplant that I did the other day the same way, although it's not as big. And right here behind me, this is going to come up because that was one that died out on me for whatever reason. But this one right here is a good 4.5 to 5 foot away from that NC1. So let's go ahead and get it in the ground and talk a little bit. That root ball's probably weighing a good 20 pounds or more. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick look to see if we're at the right depth. Yeah, we're good. So now, I'm not going to try and take the burlap out from underneath there. And what I'm going to do is untie the burlap and just shove it down into the hole. It'll act as a filler. Now we see the tree's leaning a little bit, so I'll lift her up. Throw a little bit of dirt down in there. There we go. Now let's get it all untied. There. Now, if you remember right, I'd said we had a root sticking out. This is a lateral root that came from the parent stump. We're going to go ahead and cut that lateral root off, and we'll take a look at it. You can see all the root fibers that was under it, so it should be okay. There's more root fibers down there. Pitch that to the side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shove the burlap down inside there around that root ball. I've done this like this before and it's been successful. Although I don't know how this is going to work, but we'll find out. Good loose dirt anyways. Now then, we got her in there. Kind of healed in a little bit, not too awful bad, just a little bit, just to seed it. She's standing up pretty straight. Get her watered in real good. Let that settle. You know, a lot of people ask, you know, when is a good time to transplant? Look, I plant trees all summer long. Start in the spring and I go all the way into the fall. Fall time is a really good time for transplanting. Now, when you're planting trees that are into pots, it's not as bad of a situation as far as taking care of them. But whenever you're digging one up and transplanting it, you're going to want it to be dormant. And right now the tree is dormant. It took a little while to go dormant. That last freeze and snow that we had went ahead and sped the cycle up more than what it was. So what I'm going to do is, just water it in real good. You know, like I said, down over the bank, this is where we get into a scenario of either failure or success. We won't know actually until spring. Of course, you know, if it turns out to be bad, you know, it's still there. There'll be another one that'll try to grow from down here, but we're going to cross our fingers and hope that it grows from here up. As you can see, that's a good size grafted tree. I like putting the water inside this little can because of the way it spreads. The bigger can just drives a hole into the ground. I don't like that. And I'm being pretty generous with the water. Let it saturate down in there. Now I tell you, if I'd have done this while the tree was still green, before it went into dormancy, I would have probably just killed it, because we still had sap flowing within the tree when it's not dormant, and we want that sap not to be flowing. The ground is warm enough that the roots will try to grow a little bit, But the one thing about it is, within that root ball is mycorrhizas. It's a fungi that's going to help that tree collect nutrients. And as that root system pushes outwards and starts to grow on its own, it'll drag that mycorrhizas along with it. And the mycorrhizas will then collect whatever nutrients are in the ground towards the root, and the root will continue to feed the tree. So this is the key thing, is mycorrhiza whenever it comes to pawpaw trees. Well, when it comes to any tree in general, you know, I've called it the primordial soup of life. But anyways, I got a fence right here, and I got a rod. I'm gonna drive down into the ground, and when you know it, I left my hammer down over the hill here. Give me just a sec. I'm gonna grab this rod. Not a rod, but a flat piece of steel. Been laying in the garage for God only knows how many years. And I'm gonna go over here to the side where I cut that lateral root system off. So I don't want to pound into the root system on the other side of it. Just enough to hold it in place. And since this is going to be coming off, I'll use these zip ties. We want to protect that from the deer. Now that fence is 5.5 foot tall. So that goes to show you just how much that grew this year. And I'm hoping that this will be okay up here. It was still green when we had that freeze the other night. So that could have burnt that up there, but that's okay. If it did, it'll cause forced vegetative growth, and we'll have lateral growth going on as far as limbs. Nice graft, really, really nice graft. And for the time being, I'll stick the tag right here. And next year, if it's living, we'll put a permanent tag on there. Shenandoah, 5/11/23. That's when the graft took place. Man, I'm pleased with what I'm seeing right there. Anyways, get some of this stuff picked up and head back to the house. Boy, am I glad to see how that went. My name's Jim. If you like what you see, subscribe. Don't forget to click on that bell for any notifications. Any comments or questions that you may have, I welcome. Y'all have a God bless day.